Hello friends, welcome to TM6 Adventures. Lisa here. Tonight I'm getting ready to make the 3-cup chicken. Now this recipe I have been doing for a very long time, but it's been a while since I've actually done it. So I was introduced to this recipe a very long time ago from a customer who was Singaporean, and this is kind of the way they do their meat, where they actually, the demo I did with her, she was showing her dad, and we were using pork ribs. But this was the base recipe, this 3-cup concept where it's soy sauce, it's vinegar and something else. Oh, might be sweetener. Now there is rock sugar in this. I won't be using it. I'm just going to swap in with normal sugar, which yes, it changes the authenticness of it, but this is amazing. I love that it cooks all in one bowl and it's fresh. Like, I love that. So let's get straight into start cooking. By the way, I'm doing the TM6 version. There is a TM5 version. That's what I mean. I've been doing it for a long time. So feel free to use the TM5 version. I wanted to use the high heat cooking. And by the way, something in this video today, when we have a TM7 in just a little while time, we won't be needing some of these things. It's actually a TM7 recipe as well. So we'll talk about that as we go through. If you're curious about the TM7, keep an eye out. There's going to be more and more information coming as we get closer to the launch. So it says place a bowl in the mixing bowl lid and put in 700 grams of winglets or chicken drumette. So I've got these wing nibbles. I'm not even going to bother weighing them in. It says to salt them. I'm not even going to worry about that. Now, by the way, when you're picking this recipe in Cookidoo, it gives you the choice to do 4 or 6 serves. Its standard is 4 and I picked 6. So if you want to do 400 grams of chicken, because you're serving a smaller portion of people, that's fine as well. So I'm not even going to open them up if there's enough flies hanging around. We don't need that open yet. So season with pinches of salt and pepper. So first things first is 6 cloves of garlic. Now I've got some really large cloves of garlic, so I'm just going to put those in. And then it's got some ginger peeled and sliced. Now my kids are in the habit, particularly Finn, of making his own ginger cordial. So this is the remnants of that. Okay, so I'm going to, actually I might pick some of these large hunks that are out because we freeze our ginger. Sometimes when he's making it, there's chunks that just didn't get chopped in. And I gradually use these. I'm just trying to work out what 5 centimeters would look like though. I gradually use these over the weeks. And then sometimes freeze them in Glad bags if it starts to build up too much. So next, some chilies. I skipped this out altogether because my family don't want it spicy. And if they do, they can just put some sweet chili sauce on it on the plate. All right, some sesame oil. Very authentic for this sort of cooking. You really, if you substitute with olive oil, somebody's going to comment and say it's not the same. So I'm going to tell you that I've had that comment. Get your sesame oil and use that so that it's a bit more authentic. So I'm with the lid and the measuring cup, and let's chop this down 3 seconds, speed 7, and how quick is that? So easy and quick with the Thermomix. Waiting for the little arms to let go. Because that ginger was already chopped, that helped as well. A little tip with your ginger, don't feel like you have to peel it, just slice it in little discs because that cuts the fibers that are running through it. But obviously today I didn't need to. Look at that, my goodness, and it smells amazing already. So scrape down the sides with a spatula. Have I got one? There's been lots of cooking going on today. I have an old TM31 spatula. I might have to use that. There's been lots of cooking going on today. Scrape down the sides. Oh my goodness, the smell. All right, without the measuring cup, it is now going to cook for 3 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 1. Now, if you were doing this in a TM31 or a TM5, at this point in time, it's exactly the same. If you were in a TM6, it's still, as you see, I'm doing a TM6 version, it's still the same. You will want your splash guard soon if you are doing it on a TM7. So, in a moment, it didn't ask me to put anything on top, did it? It didn't say, oh, I think it's supposed to be that in. There we go. I'm like, that's not normal. I normally put the simmering basket on top. But no, it's going to cook this off. We'll come back in 3 minutes time, put the next few ingredients in, get that chicken in, and get it cooking. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've got about 20 seconds left. The house is smelling amazing. But what I thought I'd make mention of is this is what does not come with a TM7. The splash guard, which you don't have on a TM31 or a TM5, is exclusive to the TM6 because when we do our high heat cooking in a moment, we put it on top. Now in a TM7, we can cook without the lid in place. So when it comes to things like cooking and searing off, we don't need the lid in place at all. How cool is that? I'm excited to get one and show you this recipe in a month's time and do it differently. How cool is that? All right, singing at me, it's done. Smells amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, half the chicken in. I'm going to bring up the scales because I remember that it said 700 grams and I want about half of it, so about 400 grams. And I'm going to make sure I spread them around nicely. You don't want, when you're trying to get a bit of color on things, the last thing you want is them sitting on top of each other. So I'm just going to put in half of these. Now, if you need to feed more people with this recipe, you can actually do that because we come back in a moment and we cook more. But you could actually take it out each time and cook some more on top of it. So don't feel like you are stuck at 700 grams. All right, you are actually able to use this recipe and do more, a bit like you do with things like mince. So on with that, on with my splash guard that I won't need on a TM7 soon. Click on done, and now it's got our high heat, 12 minutes, and we just turn the selector to start and off that goes. So I'll see you in 12 minutes time and we'll come and do the next step together. So we'll see you then. Okay, welcome back. So we're now going to transfer this aside into a thermo server. If you don't have a thermo server, let's do a demo and get you one of those. They're so handy. Now this is partly cooked, but it still has another cook time where it cooks in sauce. So don't worry too much if it doesn't look like it's completely done. If there's a really pink bit on top though, that obviously wasn't cooked well, do something about that. Now try and leave behind your oil mixture. Now you might notice as well there's a bit of browning on the bottom. Don't stress, okay? You can rub that onto your chicken and it's probably preferable if you do. Otherwise in this next cook it's going to get stuck further, but I'm not too fussed, okay? What happens is we get citric acid at the end and we put on a kettle mode and it comes off. So I'm not too worried about that. Add the remaining chicken. I covered it up to keep the flies off it. And this is what I mean, that you could do more. You could keep going in 400 gram batches to actually do however much chicken you have. You may need to, after a couple of batches, clean off the bottom, and that's going to so depend on your meat, how the water content on your meat and stuff. Sometimes they just are stickier than others, and there's no real way to pick that, unfortunately. So next up we've got some more sesame oil. Oh, I put it away. It's very organized. 20 grams. I did leave a fair bit of that garlic mix in there, so I'm not worried too much about the oil. Okay, back on with our lid and our splash guard again. Done. And that will do another 12-minute cook and cook off that next bit. So I'll come back then and we'll continue on where we're going to put it all together and put the sauce together and let it cook. So we'll see you then. Okay, it's just got a couple of seconds left. We're nearly done. Okay. And by the way, if you're worried about the recipe and the fact that it's a cup of everything, we actually tone it down a lot these days. The more modern versions are way less than a cup, so it's actually not as much. Okay, 60 grams of Shoxing wine. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a Chinese cooking wine. You can find it in a supermarket. It looks like that. And I don't use it very often, so it's one of those things you can buy and somewhat forget about it. Oh my goodness, can you see it sizzling in there? How cool is that? Okay, 60 grams. It's sat on -5, so I'll just... Actually, you can see how often I don't use it. Can you see how dry it is on that outer? Oops. Literally, you buy it and it's just there for that odd occasion. And you generally don't use too much either. Dark soy sauce. Now, I don't have dark. I use tamari, whatever you want to call it, for everything. So I'm going to use this in it again for everything. Okay, I'm not worried about that because the next step says some more. So I've got 25 extra and I need some more in this one anyway. So I need, what are we going to, about 60? Okay, about 70, because I'm not good at being light-handed. I do have a container that we use when we do sushi, and we use this on the sushi, and I probably should have got that out. Anyway, that's okay, it'll be fun. Okay, rock salt, or in my case, I'm going to use white sugar. You do need to put sweetener in, otherwise you're going to find this incredibly salty and vinegary. It needs to have that I can't say the word today, the balance, where it's got the salt, the sweetener and the vinegar. And back in with the reserved chicken, the first batch, in it goes. So make sure you put all the juices back in with it too. Now I have one bit there that was a bit undercooked still, which is fine because they all are getting another cook, but I want to make sure it's down the bottom to get cooked this time. So in that juicy stuff, the others looked fine. There was just one, and that's why you also don't want to put too much in on those high heat recipes, because you do risk that one of them might sit on top. Without the measuring cup, now I am going to put something on top. I'm going to put my basket on top because we have flies. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to dirty my measuring cup. I'm going to use my simmer guard, splash guard. The flies will get in there, and I just don't want them getting in there while it's cooking. So I could use my simmering basket, but I'll just use this. It's already dirty, so I might as well just use that. So 5 minutes, 120 degrees, reverse, slow stir. So let that cook off, and we'll come back in a moment. Nope, it decided not to. Try that again. Is everything in place? Yep. Oh, we're all good. I'll come back in 5 minutes, and we'll finish this together. I think there's a 1 minute cook after that. So we'll see you then. Okay, we're going to finish this recipe off now. So stir the chicken with the spatula. Add 3 sprigs of fresh basil, leaves only. Oh, it smells amazing. It looks amazing. I'm going to save a couple of these basil leaves for kind of on the top. And we are, without the measuring cup, going to cook it for 1 more minute. Again, I'm going to use this on top to keep the flies out. It's on reverse, 100 degrees. I'll see you in a minute, and we're going to finish this together. Okay, we're done. We're done. But all that time, you can see here it says dress with extra basil leaves and serve with rice. I was doing other things. I put washing away, I cleaned up the bedroom, I cleaned up the kitchen, I packed the dishwasher. That's the beauty of Thermomixing. While it was doing those 12-minute cooks, I was doing everything else, which is awesome. So let's just put you back here. Let's show you what's happening. So in with this beautiful sauce. Yum. Now remember, it gets served with some rice. You can make some cauliflower rice with your Thermomix. Oh, so yummy. And don't forget that beautiful garlic and onion as well. Now remember, with your bowl, don't stress about the marks on it. Just some citric acid will do the job at getting that sparkly clean with no or very little elbow grease. So that's it. That's how we make 3-cup chicken from Cookidoo with your Thermomix. Really delicious, really easy. Give it a go. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're going to serve it with. Like, it's a beautiful recipe. And I love that it's all in one. All that hands-free time. It's amazing. So give that a go and tell me. But otherwise, take care. And I'm going to see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.